Welcome back, everybody. Today's the day we're gonna put a little paint on the old Dodge. You can see now, since the last video, it's been a lot of sanding, wet sanding, dry sanding, sideways sanding, upways sanding, you know, priming, taping, masking, the whole 9 yards. But we are at the point it's time to put some paint on. Now, I know I don't have a paint booth, and I thought about just doing this in the yard. I said, nah, let me try to take some precautions anyway. So let me show you how I'm set up. I've got a room over here to the side, and if you can see down there, it's got a vent coming out. I put a filter on the back side of it. I've got 2 windows opened up inside that room. So the thought process is that it's going to come through that vent. Now, whether it does or not, I don't know. I put my door up just a little bit. I got 3 fans and a couple of boxes and things, kind of trying to pull the air out that way. So is it a paint booth? No, but it's maybe 1 step above painting outside. So hopefully we'll get a pretty decent job out of this. So we're taped up. This is a 2-tone paint job. It's blue on top, blue on the bottom. It's got a big silver stripe that goes from here to here, all the way down the truck, and it's got some trim that'll cover that line and trim that'll cover that line. So having the line perfectly straight is not necessary, as long as it's straight enough where that trim will cover it. And honestly, my lines are going to be straighter than what it was from the factory. They didn't really care. I mean, they kept it up under the trim, but they wasn't real worried about straight. So we're good to go there. Now I've got all my stuff over here ready to go. I'm going to mix some paint up in a minute. Got my respirator. I got my old clothes on. I got me a new gun from Harbor Freight. That's the Black Widow 1.3. We're going to see how that does. You know, I'm not going to go buy a $500, $600, $700, $800 gun just for a couple little projects I got around the house. You know, I'm not worried about that professional of a job. I want it to look okay, but you know, I got some tack cloths here. We're going to wipe everything down, and you can probably tell it's not a lot of light in here. But let me show you what I've got. I've got a pretty good size LED light that I had for another project years ago, something else I was doing, and I'll turn it on here in a few minutes. But a lot of light. I'm just going to move it along as I go, so it'll keep my area well lit. You'll see when I get it turned on, it's very well lit. So I'm going to do some prepping and mix some paint, and we're going to start shooting here in a minute. All right, I'm using this Metalux paint, and the reason I chose that is because that's what they had. I know y'all didn't think I'm good enough to know the difference in paint. It's supposed to be a pretty good paint. I did go look at some reviews on it, and you know, wasn't the top level paint, but it wasn't bottom either. So it's supposed to be a pretty decent paint. All right, trying to keep you guys kind of informed what I'm doing. This is my first time using this cup system that goes with these newer spray guns. So far, I kind of like it, but got my paint mixed up and get my respirator on. I'm gonna do a couple of test sprays to make sure I like my fan pattern the way it is, and then we're gonna see what we can do on the truck. So let's go. Well, our makeshift paint booth seems to be working okay. You know, it's not like a professional booth, but it's getting the overspray out of here fairly quick. You can see our silver. Looks like it went down okay. I don't see any runs or drips or anything like that. So for me, that's a win. I put 3 good coats of silver on here, and it has a little metal in it, little metal flake in it, and I don't see any striping or anything like that. So I think we did pretty good. The gun did real good. I really like that Black Widow gun. It's been curing for about 2 hours. It's getting warm in here. It's probably 80 degrees in here, maybe a little more. So we've let it cure for plenty long enough. I'm about to mix up some clear. We'll get clear on this silver. I'm gonna get 2 good coats for sure, maybe 3. We'll just see, and hopefully I can lay it down without getting runs or anything like that. Because I'm not a professional. I'm a backyard guy, and I haven't painted a car in 20 years, and I did okay at best back then. But it's looking pretty good. I think it's going to look just fine. So I'm going to do a little prepping, tack cloth it down to get any dust off of it that might have landed on it while it dried, or after it dried, and we'll get some clear on it to see how it looks. So stay with me. All right, we got a couple of coats of clear on there. Whew, it's getting hot out here. I've gone around and looked at it with the light. It looks pretty good. I got a couple of areas where the metal flake had a little buildup, so it's like, looks like a dark spot. You know, I found a couple of places where I had some scratches on it that I missed while I was prepping, but I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not trying to make a show truck here, but overall I think it's going to look really good. I'm going to give this time to dry. We'll get the paper off of it and we'll take a look at it without the paper. I'll go ahead and kind of give you a look at it. Can't tell, but right there I have some metal buildup. If I come this way and look back at it, well, with the light on it, I can see the metal buildup. This looks good. Tailgate looks good. This side looks pretty good, and I've got a little bit of a ding right there that I missed. Yeah, overall it looks pretty good. You can see with the light on it, it's not bad. I think we're going to have a little bit of orange peel, kind of like factory orange peel, and I'm okay with that. I'll leave that. For a do-it-yourselfer in the shop in the backyard, I'm very much okay with what we've turned out so far on the silver. So we'll give this time to set up. We'll get the tape and paper off of it, and then we'll be looking at taping up tomorrow, getting ready to put the blue on. So hang with me, we'll see what we end up with, but so far so good. And the Black Widow guns work great. I like it. I'm glad I purchased it. So that's where we are for now. Stay with me, we're going to keep going. All right, it's been a couple of hours. I'm going to see if this tape will come off. There's different reviews out there on how long to wait before taking the tape off. I've checked it. It's a little bit, still just a touch tacky, and I think that's what I want. If you wait till it gets too hard, then it might peel into your paint, peel your paint off. If you take it off when it's too soft, it'll be stringy. So it's a happy medium there you got to find. And as warm as it is today, and it's been a couple of hours, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to find a spot where if it does mess up a little bit, it's not going to matter, because it's going to be covered, like down here, it's going to be covered by some trim. So let's try that. We'll try this spot right there. Doing pretty good. A little bit stringy, which means I might be just a touch too soon. Which is not going to matter because this is going to be covered. But I'm going to take this one piece off and then probably going to wait a little bit longer before I take the rest of it off. So far we're getting a good clean line. So what is now you're seeing primer, it looks white, it's actually primer. That's going to be the blue part of the truck. We'll get to that. I don't know, I'm going to tape up the silver tomorrow. I'm going to give it a good 24 hours before I put tape on it, and then get that taped up and get her prepped up ready to paint the blue. So it may be day after tomorrow before we put the blue on, but it's looking good. Got a good clean line right there. The paint looks, look, I'm excited about this paint. It actually turned out really better than I thought I would be able to do. I don't know, maybe I just got lucky, but the paint looks really good. Got just enough orange peel, kind of like what you would see from the factory. I mean, it's hardly even noticeable. So, and that was with that Black Widow. So I can't say anything bad about that Black Widow gun. So far, it's doing really good for me. I'm going to keep taking this stuff off, and I'll check back in with you guys in a little while. Well, it's been a couple of days since the last taping that I did, I guess you want to say, video. We finished up the silver paint a couple of days ago. Maybe 3 days. I don't know. It might have been 4 days. I don't know. Time goes by so quick. But anyway, in the shop today, we've got a rainy, cloudy day. Humidity's too high. I can't do any painting today. I have done a few things over the last couple of days. In full transparency, once I got the truck outside, there was some thin spots on this door, the driver's door, and the front fender on the driver's side. Not major, but just enough it would aggravate me if I left it that way. The rest of the truck looked good, and in the shop, this looked good. But when I got outside in good light, I saw some thin spots. So I knocked these back down, and I repainted this fender and the driver door of the silver, and got it looking the way I want it to look. So and I had just enough paint. I mean, I got a little bit left over, but not much. I cut it close. And there was one dropped can of mixed paint, so I did waste a little bit of it, but that's me. You know, I'm an amateur, and that's just what happened. So anyway, we got all of this painted. It looks good outside. It looks good, so we're good to go on our silver now. But full transparency, I want to let you guys know, once I got it outside, there were some thin spots on these two pieces. The rest of the truck was fine, and we redid that. Now, one of the things I've been doing over the last couple of days is I've got these trim pieces. The black on the trim pieces, the black on the trim pieces were faded and powdery and that sort of stuff, so I sanded all of that off. I put blue tape across the front, took a razor blade and trimmed everything out, and I've repainted the black on all these pieces, and they look great. I can't wait to get all these on there. I can't put this one on because it goes on the hood, but these and the other one like this is still in there. Go on the silver section. So I think I'm going to put them on today. I went by the parts house and got some adhesive that's made for this type stuff. Let's see, by 3M, small tube, $7, well worth it. So we're going to get these glued back on to the silver today. I've got one long piece on the tailgate that can go back on, but I'm going to clean it real good first. So I'm going to try to get that done today. One other thing I did is there's a piece on the front. Let me show you that. This piece right here, I took it off and I painted it silver. While I was repainting the door and the fender, I went ahead and took that piece off the front and painted it. I didn't spend a lot of time, you know, getting it sanded down pristine. It's going to be covered mostly by the grill anyway, but I did want to go ahead and paint it, so I painted it since the last time we were here. So these are going to go on. One piece on the tailgate's going to go on today. I'm going to run back over. I'm going to feel this whole truck and see if there's any spots I might have missed that I need to smooth up. And I plan to get it taped up this afternoon, so in the morning, first thing, we can start putting some blue paint on here. So I'm excited. I am excited. We're getting close. I might even go ahead and put the tail lights back on. They can go on because that's inside the silver also. So just some things I could do today on this rainy day when I can't do anything else. So I'm going to get busy on that, and y'all stay with me. The old girl's shaping up. Thanks for watching. Well, today's the day. We're going to get some paint on here. I got my old shirt on, got some old shorts on. The weather's iffy. We might get a little rain, not sure. It's early in the morning, so the temperature's kind of cool, and that's good. Need that. Got her taped up yesterday. Let me show you here. Now, I'm going to tell you, for you guys that do this for a living, bless your heart. It took me all day to tape this thing up. I mean, I'm sure there's better ways for people that do it all the time, but for just a backyard guy and not doing this very often, this was an all-day project. I figured I'd tape it up in a couple of hours. It took all day because it had to be, you know, particularly, you got to get it right on this stage to make sure your lines are right. But got that done yesterday. We're going to mix some paint up here in a minute and start laying it down. And for those of you that are curious about, you know, gun settings and all that stuff, which I'm no professional, but I can tell you what I've done. I've got the Black Widow 1.3 tip from Harbor Freight. It seems to be a good gun. It did the silver real good. I'm using full fan and full on the paint. You know, it's wide open. 20 pounds of pressure for the paint, 25 pounds of pressure for the clear coat. And that seems to work. It did fine on the silver, so I'm hoping it does good on the blue. So just throwing that out there, that's what's working for me. But hey, learn your own gun and how you like to do things, because there again, I'm not a professional. I'm just sharing what I'm doing, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to get busy, and I'll bring you back in when we're ready to lay some paint down. I didn't film all the coats, but bottom line is I used every bit of the blue. I had a half a gallon of blue, probably. That's enough, but being an amateur that I am, I probably should have got just a touch more, because if I'd have spilled any, I wouldn't have had enough. But you can see behind me, it looks pretty good. You know, the coverage is pretty good, I think. You know, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but we haven't put the clear yet, so the clear is really going to make it pop. A couple of things that we got going on is the weatherman got it wrong. It was supposed to be clear today, and it's not. It's raining outside right now, which is terrible. Humidity's high, you know. Not the kind of day I wanted to paint, but I had it taped up. I'm at that point, I got to go with it. So we've got the blue on. I've taken a tack cloth and I've tacked it all down. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes to sit, and we're gonna start putting the clear on. We'll get 2 coats of clear, maybe 3. I don't know, just depends on how it looks and how I feel, but we're almost there. Stay with me. All right, I'm a hot mess because it's hot out here and I'm sweaty. But I got the clear on, and the truck looks beautiful. It's got some dust in it. I'm probably gonna have to do a little cutting and buffing to kind of clean up some spots. And with the humidity today, I got a little bit of water spit through my gun a time or two, so I got to go back and fix those little spots, you know. But cutting and buffing ought to do that. Let me just turn it here. Look at that. She shined up pretty. Now, there again, there are some spots I'm gonna have to go back in, do a little buffing, you know, clean them up a little better. But just a few, it's not bad, you know, for a backyard job. So in a little while, after this sits a little while and I don't have to worry about it peeling on me, we're gonna get all of that tape off of there and see what she looks like with the silver and the blue. So that's where we are for right now. Stay with me. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll get the tape off of it. I'm not going to take it outside today because it's a rainy day. You know, I'm going to let it sit in here for at least 24 hours. But maybe tomorrow we'll get her out in the sunlight and see how she looks. But I'm happy with what we got. The truck looks beautiful. I mean, even right now it would look great going down the road. You have to look close to find little imperfections, you know, little dust particles and this and that that's in the paint. So if I left it like it is, it'd be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and buff those out in a few days. But I'll be back in a little while and we'll get that tape off of there. Well, I had to go in and get a shower. It's so hot out here today and humid. I'm on my 3rd shirt. And another thing is I'm impatient. So if I'd have stayed out here, I probably would have started to take tape off too quick. So that gave me an excuse to go kill some time in the house. So got a shower, put a fresh old shirt on, and now I'm going to see about unmasking this thing. So let's see what we can do. But just seeing the plastic come off and seeing the blue against the silver, this thing's looking pretty. Let's continue on down the line. What do you think? We'll get all the plastic off and then come back and get our final trim tape off. Well, look at that. Now that I'm looking at it, you know, that tape I use, it wouldn't look bad if it just had a pinstripe that color. That would blend those two colors together. But I'm going back with the trim on it. But don't that look good? I'm so happy with this. All right, I'm gonna keep getting tape off. I'll be back with you after I get all that off. All right, got the tape off of her. Look at there. Now, I didn't spray back in the bed. I'm gonna treat what little bit of surface rust is in there, and I'm gonna get a black bed liner. I'm gonna either spray or roll on bed liner. I'm gonna put in the back. So that's the reason I didn't spray the bed. And I see a little bit of tape on the light up there I got to get off. But look at this truck, y'all. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. I got some dust and stuff on the hood and on the top. Going down the road, this truck will look great. If you get up close and look, you'll see I got some water spots there, but I'm going to try to buff the bigger of that out. I'm not worried about getting all of it, but I'm gonna buff some of it out. But for a backyard job, for somebody that doesn't do this for a living, look, lines are clean, the blue is pretty, the silver is pretty. You know, I just got to get all the trim back on it, and man, it's turning into a pretty truck. Turning into a pretty truck. I'm happy with what I got. I really am. So if I don't do anything else to the paint, I'm still satisfied with it, even with a little bit of dust that's in it. But I'll try to clean some of that up. But anyway, look, thank y'all for watching. I'm going to stop this one here. I'll pick it back up maybe as I'm putting the final touches on it, getting the trim back on it and all that. But this has been a progress for sure. I've learned a lot about painting, you know, just technique and using this gun. I'll say again, I like this Black Widow gun. It did a good job for an amateur like me. It laid down paint pretty good. There again, I had the paint wide open, the fan wide open. I use a pressure of 20 for the paint and 25 for the clear. That seemed to work. So I recommend the Black Widow for what that's worth. I'm not a professional. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. I'll keep updating videos as I do more to it, and pretty soon we get back on the Warlock, because this one's getting to the point where I can kind of put it to the side and get back on the Warlock. Well, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe if you hadn't already, and I'll see you on the next one.